guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see you today. Or I'm visualizing you. I guess I'm not seeing you, but I'm seeing all your lovely faces in my head. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys are ready for a little bit of gun show action today. So we are going to be working all upper body today. We're going to go at it. It's going to get intense probably, but that's good. Maybe not quite as intense as Saturday, y'all. Woof, I'm not going to lie. Kicked my own butt on Saturday. I hope you guys made it and felt okay afterwards. It was rough. But that's good though, right? Like we don't want to do that every day. You don't need to do that every day. But every now and then it's good to really, So guys, I don't want to take up a ton of your time. I want to make sure we get through everything today. So what you're going to need is a pretty good weight selection. So if you have a light, medium, heavy, you definitely want to have that available because upper body, it's kind of all over the place. There are some things you can do on the heavier end, some things you can do on the lighter end, some things really vary day by day. So grab whatever you have, light, medium, heavy, and then hear me out on this light, medium, heavy bit. I've got a couple exercises actually asterisked in this workout for me to point out to you that I really want you to go on the lighter end of things. And I know you're like, what? Personal trainer should tell me to go heavy, heavy, heavy. Not always true. And especially in upper body, if we start going too heavy, I know you've heard me say this a million times, you're gonna start using the wrong muscles. And it's just no good. You're not gonna get a lot of progress. You might hurt yourself. It's counterintuitive, but I want you to scale back, especially on a couple exercises. Now some I'm gonna tell you just go balls to the wall, but I do have a few asterisks that I'm really gonna push you to go very light on, okay? So I'm just telling you that up front. The only other things you're gonna need is a yoga mat or your floor support, or whatever it is to make you comfy in the floor. And then I did add one thing since my Facebook post. It's not absolutely necessary, but I think it will be helpful. And it's gonna be a sturdy chair. This is one where I'm not necessarily so worried about the steady, like when we do tricep dips and things like that, when it's like, no, you gotta have a chair that's gonna hold your weight. Basically, we are gonna do a couple things seated, where you can sit on the floor, or you can sit in the chair. There's one, it'll be much more beneficial for you to sit in the chair. And then there's another exercise where we are going to sort of support ourselves. And so it would be helpful to have a chair or the back of a couch, something like that. So just think of a place to sit and a place to make yourself kind of steady. That's going to be your third thing today. All right? Okay, so like I said, upper body boot camp. So we're going hard at that upper body. Think shoulders, chest, arms, shoulders, back side of shoulders, which is going to be rhomboids, delts, traps, and also our lats. So those are those big muscles in our back. So all over body today. We're going to actually have 5 sets, but they're going to be super short, just 2 exercise sets. All of them double-sided, except for one. I did kind of change my mind and decide to do single-sided with one. So should be able to move pretty quickly. I'm going to cut my chit-chat down and make sure we get there. We're moving reps, not time, about 12 in upper body is where I like to work. So we've got 2 exercise sets, 5 sets, about 12 reps of each. And then as always, just our standard things. Add music if you need it, no music here. Modify if you need it, especially upper body. Really listen to what your upper body is saying to you, what those muscles are saying to you. And remember, you always have the option to go down. So I really want you to pay attention. Sometimes upper body can kind of hide itself, hide its weaknesses. Did I say upper? Lower body is what I meant to say. Not sure what I said. Upper body though, it can really scream at you and talk to you. Listen, okay? And as always, Facebook, I'll be checking for questions between sets. If you have any questions or if you need to know how to modify something, just hit me up there. I will definitely catch your question. And last 2 things as always, please share these workouts, share what we're doing, share our message here at Strong Style Fitness. I think it's a unique one. I think it's a special one. And I really would love to see more people getting involved, more people getting moving, and more people just focused on themselves and making a better self for themselves, right? And then lastly, if you would like to Venmo any donations to me, it is the only payment that I receive for these classes, so it is greatly appreciated. Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. All right, guys, so if you have your chair, we're gonna have a chair as part of our workout. we are going to do a seated bicep curl, and then we're going to do skull crushers. So we're going to do bicep, tricep. The rest of our sets today, we're going to double down in one muscle group. So we're going to do 2 chest exercises, 2 shoulder exercises, 2 back exercises. This is the only one we're going to hit kind of opposing muscle groups. So we're going to do a seated bicep curl. I would suggest a chair, and then skull crushers, those are going to be on the floor. So I'll have to do a little maneuvering because I only have one space for chair and for floor, so I'll sort of have to move in and out the chair, but that's no problem. So you want to grab your bicep curl weight, your skull crusher weight, which is your triceps. All right, I'm going to grab a drink of water, check the video, and then we'll get going. All right, my lovelies. All right, so let's grab our bicep curl weight. Whatever we normally do for biceps, and we're going to do it seated in a chair. So, just to keep it short and simple, here's what being in a chair makes it a little different. We lose any momentum that we have from standing. So sometimes with a bicep curl, especially when we're pushing towards our heavier range, we can kind of rock our bodies to get the weights up. We can pull. When you're seated, you got less opportunity to sort of use the wrong parts, to use momentum. You are what you are. So we're going to do some bicep curls seated. And let's go ahead and do twisted variation. So you'll have to come off the seat a little bit, most likely. We're going to come down with our weights forward, and then we're going to twist, rotate to the top. Okay? So shoulders back and down, chest nice and wide. We sit, and we're going to curl. Let's go. 1, 2. It might already feel pretty different. 3. It's really funny what just being seated can change up. And sometimes you think it's going to be easier because you're seated. Not the case. We still want those shoulders back and down. We still want those elbows tucked into the side. 6, 7. Give it a nice squeeze at the top. 8, 9, 10. 2 more if you got it. 11. Last one. 12. Good job. All right, so we're going to come down to the floor. I'll have to move my chair out of the way. All right, so we're going to come down to the floor. I'm going to have 2 weight selections available. 15 might be a little heavy for a skull crusher for me, but maybe not. I'm going to give it a shot and see. So skull crusher, we're going to come down onto our backs. You can set those weights on your knees and kind of kick them back for some assistance. Or if the weights aren't too heavy, you can kind of lock those elbows in, pick them up. Okay, so skull crushers. We're on our back, shoulders tucked down, nice long neck, core engaged just for some back support. We've got our arms at 11. Our shoulders to elbows stay in place. All that moves is elbow and hands. So you bend straight back, drop the weights, squeeze to the top. 2, 3. Woo! 4, 5. Now be careful here. 6. Also watch your elbows. I can tell this is a little heavier for me than normal in a skull crusher. My elbows are kind of like, this is a little bit heavy. 8. So I'm listening. I'm going to let my triceps continue to activate. 9. And warm up. But if that elbow pressure doesn't go away, 10, then I'm going to lighten the weight. I say that just so if you're having the same feelings, 11, you know it's okay, and you can change it too. 12. Boom. Perfect. Set those weights down. We go back to our bicep curl. You get some extra work by lifting this chair back and forth. These are about the heaviest chairs. All right, so back to our bicep curl. We're gonna keep working, no rest. We wanna move quickly. Keep those muscles nice and engaged and warm, working hard. Shoulders back and down, elbows into the sides. We curl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. 8, 9. I definitely feel a difference. 10. Standing, almost reached the point. 15s are a little light. 11. But here, seated, I'm getting to 12. And it's a little bit of a struggle. So you can see what just taking that body out of the equation can make things a little more challenging. All right, back to our skull crushers. Down to the floor. Okie doke, let's lay it back. Get ourselves set up. So remember, we're on our back. I like to kind of pick my tail up and roll my spine down. Make sure my whole back is on the floor. Arms at 11. Whew. Let's go. 1, 2. So remember, you're just bending at those elbows. 3. Shoulder to elbow stays in place. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that my muscles are warmer, they're really activating. 8. Not feeling that shoulder, I'm sorry, not feeling that elbow concern I had. It's definitely easing. 10. That just meant my muscles weren't quite working and firing yet. 11. So my elbow joints were doing more of the work at that time. 12. Trust me, it doesn't feel easy. It's just not hurting my elbows anymore. All right, we got one more trip through. All right, let's have a little talk with those biceps. Let's do it. All right, let's get it set. Shoulders back and down. Proud chest. Arms to the side. Let's go. 1, 2. Make sure you're curling those weights all the way up. 3. Sometimes we stop a little short. 4. Because you're not getting a full contraction on that bicep. 5, 6, 7. Woo, very different. 8, 9, 10. Sometimes you gotta make faces at it, guys. 11. Last one. 12. Awesome work. All right, one more set of skull crushers. Woo. Starting to break a teeny little sweat here. Nothing like Saturday when I was already sweating like I've been working out for an hour after just talking to you guys. All right, so again, I like to pick that tail up, roll that spine down. Got arms at 11, nice and long neck. Brace that core. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, fatigue out. 8, 9, woo, 10, ooh, I don't know if you can see my left one shaking. 11, last one, 12, yes, good work, guys. If you were shaking too, don't be scared. Whenever you get that shake like that, when you're trying to push up and that arm is just shaking, that leg is just shaking, nothing is wrong. A lot of times that'll happen. People get spooked, and just drop the weight or think they need to stop. Don't be scared. And it's just your muscles starting to fatigue. That doesn't mean that it's getting hurt, injured, anything. It's just starting to fatigue. So the only time I say be careful of that is something like a skull crusher. If it's just getting to the point that you're just shaking out of control, remember, you do have a weight dangling over your face that you don't want to drop. So that's the only time I say be mindful of that. But otherwise, if you're shimmy shaking, that's just perfect. That's where that muscle change is really starting to happen. So don't be spooked, just be mindful if you got a weight dangling over your face, okay? All right, guys, so where we're going next is a seated overhead press. So we will be seated again, and then we're gonna do a lateral raise. So seated overhead press, you can use your chair again. If you would like to take it further to really challenge your core, you can do it seated on the floor. So I'm gonna opt for seated on the floor, but if you wanna use your chair, it's right there. Just use your chair. Nothing special about it. Just sit in your chair, just like you would, and you're gonna overhead press. If you're gonna do it on the floor, you can just follow along with me. And then we're gonna do standing lateral raise, or you can also do a seated lateral raise if you're in the chair. If you're in the floor, you probably don't have room to drop your weights, but maybe you do. We can experiment with it when we're on the floor. I know I do not need 15s for my lateral raise, but I do for my overhead press. I'm gonna have 10s available for my lateral raise. This is also, lateral raise, is one that I have asterisks. Where, asterisks? I think that's right. Go lighter on your lateral raise. When in doubt, go lighter. So I'm even gonna set the 5s within my reach. Definitely too light for me, generally, but I don't have 7.5s. But I'm gonna practice what I preach. So doing lateral raise, if I feel a lot of strain through here, that means I put them down and I go to the 5. So this is one, be mindful, listen. When you're doing a lateral raise, you should be working through your shoulder here, not through here, not really here, all through here. So if you're feeling other muscles other than that, drop your weight, okay? All right, so I'm gonna grab a drink of water, check video, and we'll get started on our shoulder set. All right, friends. So, I feel weird. I have all this hair swinging around. I can't even remember the last time I worked out with a ponytail because my hair is normally so long and it starts sticking to my armpits. It's horrible. I told Charlie, I was like, I'm probably going to regret this, so I brought a clip where I could twist it up just in case if I needed to. Yeah, so seated lateral raise, we probably don't want to do, well, I don't know. Ooh, I kind of like it, guys. We might experiment with that. Hold that thought. Let's do our seated overhead press first. So we're going to do a seated in the floor overhead press. We're going to sit wide. We're not looking to do the splits or anything. We just want to do whatever feels kind of wide for you, where you're still stable and you don't want to be out in splits. And we're going to overhead press just as if we were standing. The difference you're going to feel is you're going to feel a lot of activation through the side body and through the core, because it's got to stabilize you because you don't have your feet to do it. So it's a different feeling if you haven't done it before, but it's a really cool way to do it. All right, so we're going to do overhead press. We're going to set up out of our shoulders a little bit forward. We don't want to be all the way open like this. That puts our shoulder in kind of a funky position. So just a little bit forward, we press up, bring it down. 1, 2, Make sure your neck is relaxed. 3, that your shoulders are down. 4, that you're not scrunching up by your head. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Bring it down. All right. So lateral raise. I'm going to experiment with sitting on the floor. If you're using a chair, 100%, you can do this from a chair, or you can do it standing, whichever way you want to approach it. I'm going to try it here. I might immediately stop and go, nope, that's not right. Let me give it a shot. So we're going to have shoulders down. We want a little bit of bend in those elbows. We don't want to be here coming straight locked out. We want a little bit of a bend and a lift this way. Okay? All right. So we're here. We're going to go for 12, whether seated on the floor, chair, or standing. All right, guys. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is different, and I think I like it. 5, 6, 7, and we're stopping at shoulder height. 8, or just below. 9, 10, 2 more. 11, ooh, 12. That was pretty great. I like it, so I'm gonna keep doing that. Whew. So shoulders, might be talking already. We did a lot of shoulders last class, so mine were already like, hey girl, remember a few days ago? All right guys, so we've got our overhead press again. So remember, you can be seated here, you can be seated in a chair, you can be standing if for any reason seated makes you uncomfortable. All right, okie doke. This is gonna feel real heavy, I can already tell. But don't be scared, right? Okay, let's do it. Load it up, let's go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Man, the fatigue is real. And again, seated just changed it up so much. Normally 15, standing. I can do, I'm not gonna say easy, 15 is still about my max to be safe, but I can get to 12 and feel pretty comfortable. I could do plenty more, not so much seated. All right, we've got our lateral raise. So again, nice and steady in our seat. You can be in a chair or standing if you want. We've got a little bit of bend in those elbows. And we're lifting straight up, keeping our shoulder down, just lifting our arms. So we're not here, shoulder down, arm up. All right? Okay. 10 to 12. Let's do this. 1, 2. Again, stopping about that shoulder height. 3, 4, 5. The sweat is real now. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more if you got it. I'm gonna give it a shot. 11. Last one. 12. Man, love it. Really challenging to add that seated aspect to it for sure. But it doesn't feel like it's anything wrong. It just feels like this whole different level of challenge. All right, so shake it out just a sec. We've got one more set of those. All right, guys. Last set of overhead press. Again, our goal is 10 to 12. If you can get to 8, 8 is fine too. Since this is our last set. If you can only get to 8 in previous sets, I would have said probably drop your weight a little bit. But on this one, we're overloading those shoulders. If you can get to 8, good to go. All right, guys. Let's get ourselves steady. Get ourselves set. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more, 12. Woo! Oh man, that is some fatigue, both show. But we got one more set of shoulders to do. And then we will get a nice little break and we will come back and do chest. All right, so lateral raise, remember here in the chair, standing, wherever you want to be, just no locked out arms, a little bit of bend, shoulder stays down. We lift our arms, we don't lift our shoulders, all right? All right, guys. Whew. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to stop at 10. 9. I am going to stop at 10. 10. You keep going to 12 if you need. I'm starting to feel that here and my neck kick in. So that's what I'm calling it. All right, guys. Good, good work. Super challenging, I know, but in the best kind of way, right? All right, so if you have your water down on the floor with you and you don't need to get up, our next set will be completely in the floor. I do need to get up and check the video and get some water, so I'm gonna hop up. But we're gonna do chest flies and bench press in the floor. So chest fly, so we'll be laid, both will be on our back. Chest fly, we have those weights over our chest, bend in our elbow, we'll be open and close. And then bench press will be here, both on our backs, both working that chest. Again, I recommend have a couple weights beside you because we are overloading that chest. So just like those shoulders where they felt super fatigued, chest will probably get to be the same place. Also, you might most likely have a very different weight for your chest fly versus your bench press. Bench press is usually a little heavier. Chest fly, usually a little lighter. When in doubt, go lighter on your chest fly because it is one that you're really putting your arms out in sort of a vulnerable position, which puts your shoulders in a vulnerable position, could get hurt. It's not a dangerous exercise, only if you go way too heavy. All right, guys, with some water, check the video, we're gonna get right to it. All right, friends, and I think I see my dad watching. Hello, hey Daddy. All right, guys, so we are going to get in the floor for our chest fly or bench press. So we're gonna do the chest fly first. So that's gonna be your head, your lighter weight in your chest fly. So grab those weights, go ahead and set it back. I'll talk you through it, and we will get started. So, as always, we're on the floor. I just like to pick that tail up. Roll that spine down so everything's nice and long and flat on the floor. chest fly, we start up overhead. Whew, my shoulders are like, excuse me. Are we about to do something with our shoulders again? All right, so we've got our weights over our chest, not our head, not our throat, over our chest. You can even do a little test to see where you're at. And then you're gonna flare out your elbows, like you're about to give somebody a big hug. That's where we wanna be. And then you keep that bend in your elbows as you open up your arms. So your arms stay in this bent position as you open up. So you're not pulling your elbows down, you're opening up like you're giving somebody a big hug, squeezing forward. When you open, you should feel that chest really expand, and then you contract that chest to pull those weights forward. All right? Okay, so let's get started. I always like to sort of measure, am I over my chest? Yup. A little bit of bend, we open up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one, 12. Good, good, good. All right, you want to set those weights down. If you are going to a much heavier weight for your bench press, I definitely recommend that you sit up, put those weights on your legs, kick them back. Right, get that spine set up again. So bench press is the exact same idea as far as you want your weights over your chest, not up over your head or your neck, over your chest. You can test it out by dropping those weights down, see where they land. Yep, they're over my chest, so I'm good. So this is where we do now lead with our elbows down and push back up. All right, let's do it, guys. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you're breathing. 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more, 11, and 12. Boom. Beautiful work, guys. All right, set those down. And stretch it out for just a sec if you want. Do a little movement just to give those muscles a little break. All right, we're back to our chest fly. So these weights are pretty light, so I feel comfortable kind of reaching out and grabbing them. But please, please, please be mindful and don't do that if those weights feel heavy to you at all. Please don't do it that way, okay? I'm calling it out on purpose because I really don't want you to do it if those weights feel the least bit heavy for you. I've got that shoulder thing going on. You can probably see my cupping spots on my shoulder. So I'm definitely going lighter on my chest fly. Chest fly definitely puts my shoulder issue into its kind of worst position. So I have to be careful. So again, we go over our chest. You can kind of test, see where you are. A little bit of bend in those elbows. We open up for a big, bigger hug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really feel that chest open. 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 11, and 12. Beautiful. Set those weights down. So these weights are a little heavier, so I'm going to be a smart cookie and do what I teach, practice what I preach, and I'm going to sit up, put these weights on my legs, and kick them back. Okay. So we're set up for our bench press. So again, guys, we are just living in that chest. So if these weights that normally don't feel too heavy are starting to feel heavy, that's why, because we are pounding our chest right now. All right, guys, we got those weights over our chest, shoulders down, long neck. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also be mindful if you're death gripping your weights. 7. You see me kind of wiggling my fingers? I can tell I've been squeezing kind of hard today on those weights. 8, 9. So you can always, if you feel safe, kind of lift them up, wiggle them. 10, 11, 12. Awesome job. Set those babies down. We've got one more trip through. Yeah, I can tell I've been death gripping my weights. I'm feeling some pressure right here. So you can always just stretch out your fingers a little bit if you feel the same. Give them a wiggle. Open that chest. Shake out those hands, whatever feels good. We've got one more set. Just want to make sure that nobody's pain and suffering while they're trying to get through their set. All right, so let's grab our chest weight for our chest fly. Set it up. Again, little test. Perfect. Elbows flare. And we're going to do our big bear hug practice. All right, guys, so we open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good job, guys. Getting close. 8, 9, 10, 11. Last one. 12. Boom. Set those down. All right. We've got one more bench press. Woo. Yes. All right. Let's do it, friends. Woo. And give our little chests a break. All right. So we're set up again over our chest. All right, guys. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost there. 9, 10. 2 more. 11. Last one. 12. Beautiful. Set those weights down. You can definitely stay on your back and stretch it out if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and hop up. Woo! So I'm ready to not be on the floor for a second. All right. So chest is fully cooked. We have worked it out. So our next set, we're going to do some shoulder work. But our first shoulder set, we were working your kind of anterior deltoids and your deltoid. So we're going to be more in the backs of our shoulders now. So we're looking at rear deltoids, rhomboids, that kind of muscle group. Not to be all sciencey on you, but if you're curious to look up what we're working, if you look at rhomboids, your rear delts, that's sort of what we're looking at. So this is both exercises, asterisks, lightweight. And I mean light. I'm going to be using 5 pounds. Light. I might use 10 for one exercise, but honestly, I really don't think so. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and retract that statement. I'm going to use 5s. So I'm going to start putting this stuff up. Take your break, get your water. These will both be new exercises. So I'm going to spend just a couple minutes getting us all set up because they will be new. And I want to make sure we get them right. This is one also where we are going to use a chair, like the back of a chair, back of a couch, something like that to stabilize, okay? So just get set up wherever that is. I'm going to sort of pull my chair into frame. Yeah, that's pretty good. So the 2 exercises that we're going to be doing, again, are going to be lightweight. So I want you to grab whatever feels light to you. I say 5 for me, 5 might be heavy for you, and that's totally okay. So because I said 5, don't feel like you need to do 5. So go ahead and get your light weights, get your little stability chair or whatever ready. I'm gonna grab some water, check the video, and then we'll get started with the next set. All right, friends. So we are going to do an exercise called a high pull. So the high pull is not something we've done before, and it's not to be confused with an upright row. Upright row is here. There's kind of controversial ideas about the upright row, if it's a good exercise or a bad exercise. I kind of preach against it in the traditional way of where people lead with their elbows. I think that is a horrific idea. I never teach upright row that way. But this is an alternative to an upright row that actually gets more of what the idea of an upright row is. So it's called a high pull. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start with our weights, and we're going to lead with our hands. So we're almost going to make a W. And I say almost, if I had a mirror, I might actually be making a W, but we're going to think W. So we're going to have our weights, and we're going to pull here. So our elbows actually drop down, and our hands lead. So your shoulders, as you can see, are staying down. We're not doing anything here. Shoulders stay down, and we're pulling into a W. So what that's doing from the back is we're getting external rotation in our shoulders. So shoulder starts here, comes and rolls down and in, down and in, down and in. I don't know if you can see that movement through my shirt, but that's what we're looking for, a down and in. So you feel those shoulder blades. So I'm out here, pulling down and in, down and in, okay? So you don't need much weight for that, because I really want you to think about that muscle movement and that shoulder blade movement, not pulling through all these other bells and whistles and muscles in your shoulder and your neck, okay? All right, so let's give it a shot. We're going for 12. Let's do it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a new one for me too, but I'm really liking it. 5, 6, 7, 8. As I'll learn more about it and get more experience with it, I'll get some more coaching tips on it for you. 10, 11, 12. Nice work. All right. So now we're going to do what's called a rear delt row. So we've done rear delt fly. So we're doing rear delt. We're really trying to get into this small little area back here. I know I'm not doing plenty with the weight, but sort of back in here. So usually when we do a rear delt fly, we're bent over, super lightweight, we're opening up. So rear delt row, targeting that same area. We're going to use a little support with our chair, the back of our couch. And again, we're going to bend over. We're going to start with the weight down, facing this direction. As we pull, we're going to pull up high, and we're going to rotate that weight. So kind of like when we do that bicep curl, we're rotating. We're leading with our elbow, and we're trying to get that weight, that elbow, back behind our body. Again, without rotating. So our chest stays flat, and we pull up high. So you should really feel engagement like through here, okay? So that's where we're working. We're gonna do single side. I'm gonna start with my right, just because that's what's facing the camera. And I want you to be able to see. So we bend, our chest stays pointed at the ground, and we pull back. Now you can see why I want you to go light here. 3, we're gonna do 10 each, or no, we'll do 12 each side. 4, 5, because your neck and your traps really want to get involved. 6, so really try to tell your neck. 7, to stay out of the party, it's not invited. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. So light, light, light. If you're doing a 5 because you think that's light, but you're feeling your neck pull, go lighter. One of the people I learned from is a guy who does, every muscle of his is so defined and perfect and amazing, and he's so smart and so strong, and he does 10s when he does this, okay? This guy could probably squat 400 pounds. He does 10s, so hear me out, okay? All right, so other side. Again, we get set up, chest facing the ground, weight flat, and it rotates as we pull. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really think about that little spot in your shoulder. 5, 6, 7. Tell your neck it's not invited. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Great job. All right. So that might feel super challenging. That's good. That's what you want. And you might be like, why is it so challenging? I only have 5s or 3s or 2s. It's because this is a tiny little muscle that we're working. It can't take a whole lot of load. It just needs a couple pounds. All right. So we've got our high pull. So remember, we're making a W. And I'm actually going to do these from the back. I don't know how much shoulder movement you can see through my shirt, but I'm going to do it from the back just in case you can get a good idea of what's going on back there. All right. So let's get started. Shoulders back and down. Let's go. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Hope that wasn't too weird staring at my back the whole time. It was kind of fun. I got to see my pretty wall. I never get to see it. All right, so we've got that rear delt row. That's where we're going next. So we're going to step back. We're going to bend, give ourselves a little support with the chair, engage that core, neck long, shoulders down, and we pull. You really want to try to get that elbow back behind the body. 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, make sure you're not rotating your chest or your torso. 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Other side. Change it out. Let's get right to it. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, woo, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, guys. One more set through. So these exercises are super important. We're working on that external rotation, the ability for our shoulders to pull open, rotate our arms open. Super important. Most of us, all of us, work like this, either at a computer, over a car, whatever it may be, hunched forward is sort of our permanent state. So we need to get those muscles activated and strong to pull us back open. Super, super important to do exercises that work on that. Aside from just the beauty of, pretty sculpted shoulders, super functional too. All right, high pull. I'll do half and half, front and back. All right, guys, let's do it. 10, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost there, 2, 1. Beautiful. All right. We got one more set of those rows, and then we will be done with our shoulders. We've got a quick back set, and we'll be done. All right. Let's set it up. Long neck, long back, engage core. Let's pull. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, make sure your head's not hanging down, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Let's do it. 10. I keep starting at 10. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3, 2, 1. Awesome work, guys. All right, we will take a quick break, and then we'll go right into our back set, and we will be all done. So, back set, we're going to do alternating renegade rows, which I know, if you know what a renegade row is, you probably just went, oh, I know. So, modify, always an option. I will be doing my modify because we have done a lot of shoulder work, upper body work already today. I don't want to tempt fate by doing a full renegade row. I do have the ability to. I don't want to tempt fate and do it, potentially get some things injured I don't want to injure, or angry that I don't want to be angry. So I'm going to do modified version of renegade row. So you will need either one weight or two weights depending on how you like to do your renegade row. And it is back weight, so you can go a little bit heavier. And then we're going to do a dumbbell pullover, which is generally about the heaviest weight you have for a dumbbell pullover, unless you have some serious shoulder impingements and going this direction with your shoulder is very painful. If that's the case, then you won't want to go as heavy. But if this is okay for you, grab yourself a heavy weight. So that's what I'm going to do. So for my dumbbell pullover, I've got my heaviest weight. And let's see. I'm gonna give, yeah, we'll give that a shot. What the hey, right? You only live once. It's terrible advice, don't listen to that. All right, guys, I'm gonna get a drink of water, check the video one last time, and then we're gonna rock and roll and get this workout done. All right, so quick demo on Renegade Row. So full version of a Renegade Row, you do have the option to do 100%. So if you were to do a full Renegade Row, you would have a weight under each hand. I'm gonna kick anything over, which I am. Let me move this. So Renegade Row, you do want to go, if you were to be in full plank, you want to go a little wider. This is the problem that I had. All right, I'm gonna turn this way. Then your normal plank, just so you have a nice sturdy base. And then for a Renegade Row full, you would be here, and you would row, switch over, and row. That's your full version for Renegade Row. Or you can modify plank to your knees. Boom. Renegade Row, Renegade Row, or you can set up 2 weights, which I think is what I'm going to do. I was sort of avoiding it, but it just makes more sense. So, that's your modified versions of Renegade Rows. So normally, we're here for full plank, we're here for modified row. I will say, if you are a very beginner, and this is too hard even in modified, you can come to tabletop and row from tabletop. I normally don't allow you to modify plank into tabletop, but in this one instance, it's definitely okay. All right, so we're going for 12 Renegade Rows. All right, maybe I'm gonna feel froggy and try full. Let's see. All right, guys, so we set it up. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Woo! Oh, they're so hard. For me, a lot more of the challenge is to be up on the weights on my hands. It's a little painful for me, which is why I modify a lot of times. But I wanted to give it a shot. I may still try it one more round. What the heck? All right, so dumbbell pullover. We're gonna grab our heavy weight now. This one, you can either kick up on your knee. Let's kick it up on our knee. There we go. All right, so we're gonna hold it like a goblet here. We've got our chest, whew, nice and long, spine nice and long, chest nice and wide, I should say. We've got the weight over our chest. We're going to drop that weight back. And then I want you to think, I'm setting it down, but you're not gonna do that in the exercise. When you go to pull this weight back over, I don't want you to think using your arms. I want you to think of using these long muscles in your back and your lats up here to pull over. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one, 12. You set that weight to your chest, and you can roll it off to the side. Beautiful. All right, so yeah, I want you to think about when you're pulling, that you're using these big muscles all through your back to pull over, that you're not pulling with your arms and your shoulders, but all through here is what's engaging, pulling forward, okay? All right, let's set that off. We've got our renegade rows again. So remember, you can do full, modify to your knees, or in this one instance, you can modify to tabletop, okay? All right. Whew. Okay, I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. All right, let's try it again. I'm pep talking myself. All right, guys, so we come up, full plank, let's row. I'm not going to count too much, 10, because this is really challenging, 9, 4, 2, 1. Boom. All right, guys. We've got our dumbbell pullover. So if you're going to try that full renegade row, definitely take your plank with your feet further. That's going to help you be more steady when you're picking up a heavy weight. If you have a narrow base, it's going to be really hard not to topple over. So you can definitely widen that base, as long as you're not going into like full split or anything like that. That's a little too wide. All right, let's kick that heavy weight back. We've got our goblet. Get it all set up, tuck those shoulders down, long neck, or over our chest, and we drop back. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Make sure you get a little bit of bend in those elbows. 4. You don't want a big heavy weight with locked out arms. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Sit to your chest. Roll it off. All right, guys. Woo, let's just get right to it. Don't even give yourselves time to dread it. Just get down and do it. All right. So we're going to set up that renegade row. Isn't it funny, too, how we talk to ourselves? I started this renegade row set saying, I'm not even going to try. And then I was like, well, maybe. And then I've done it. So, again, I say listen to yourself. But it's also a fine line, right? Listen to yourself, but don't short sell yourself. So, it's a fine line you gotta walk. And you just get more and more used to that line, to those messages. Am I sending myself the right message? Am I BSing myself? What am I doing? You get more used to it the more you work out. So, listen to your body though. Number one, my body wasn't really saying don't do it. My mind was saying don't do it. That's kind of where the difference lies sometimes. Okay, boom, enough talking. Let's do it. Renegade row. Set it up. So remember, you should have a nice wide base so you're steady if you're in that full plank. Or modify to your knees, or modify to tabletop. We've got 12. I'm only going to count every few because that's a lot of exertion. All right, guys, let's get it set. And when you're ready, let's do it. Six, 2, 1. Boom. All right. Pullovers. Last exercise in our upper body will be fully cooked. Okay. So kick that pullover weight up. Whew. Got that goblet grip. If you always put the same hand on top, maybe try switching it out. Feels funky, but nothing's wrong. Just try putting a new hand on top every now and then. All right, guys, let's go. Remember, 12. Long muscles in your back. Lat muscles to the sides. 11. 10. Don't even think about pulling with your arms. Just focus that energy to that back body. 8. 7. You also might be feeling your core and your abs. 6. It's totally normal. 5. They're working. 2. 4. 3. 2. Last one. 1. Awesome. Roll that heavy weight off. Whew. Get yourself up. If you feel okay, you're not going to get lightheaded. Get yourself up. Whew. Pat yourself on the back. If you can pick that arm up, give it a little help if you need to. Oh, I can tell the seasons are changing. It's already dark outside. How weird. Aww. And it's definitely becoming fall. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this upper body boot camp, that you are feeling the burn, that you are feeling fatigued and tired, but good. It's a lot of work, it's some good work, and really experimenting with what we can do with heavy weights, light weights, and how it all works together to make a great workout. So I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed. As always, I ask that you share these workouts, share my videos, share my page, subscribe to my YouTube page. Super important to me right now. Would love if you would do that. And if you do want to donate any funds to me for these classes, it is the only payment I receive for these classes. So like I always say, I super appreciate it. I'm very grateful for those of you that do give. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys soon. Oh, Venmo @StrongStyleFit. I don't think I said. All right, guys. I'll see you in a few days for our next workout. Bye.